Good afternoon folks, and welcome to another electronics video. Yes, it's another record player, and this is an Itt Kb from the 1970s, I believe, or very late 60s. Screw the deck so that it floats, makes it easier to lift it out. I don't know whether I'm going to need the manual on this or whatever. It's not in for a repair as such, it's in for more of a service. So what we'll do, we'll plug it in. I'm not going to play a record, but we'll plug it in and we'll just turn it on and we'll do an assessment. I don't need to play a record to do an assessment. The turntable goes round. Turn the plug on. Bet hard you worried, didn't it, Lawrence? Look. Yeah, volume control needs sorting. Yeah, volume control. Does that bass control work? Yeah. Treble control. Doesn't sound like as much out of that. Soon find out when I play a record on it. Anyway, I'll be going through it all anyway. There's a bit of a hum there. We'll try and shut that up a bit. But they were a bit hummy, these anyway. But that's not normal. And that loud pop when you turn it off, that's not normal either. So there was probably a capacitor across it at one time. Well, I might have to do that to shut it up. Put a capacitor across the switch to shut it up. I'm just trying to find my glasses. And no, they're not on my face. Where the fuck's me frigging glasses? You know, I hate it when you can't find, when you know they're here and you've seen them and you've had hold of them and you can't find the bastard and things. There's a pair, they're not the ones, but they'll, oh, here's my usual ones. There we go, found them. Right. Well, let's get this thing apart and have a look. Well, that screw was loose. Somebody's had a look. But that screw was already loose. Pull the knobs off. There we go. And there we go. Take that out of the way. And here we have it. Now, there's not really a great deal to that, is there, folks? Fucking hell. Where have they put the output transistors? I've seen, oh, there they are. I was going to say, I've seen, it's not, there's no circuit board. I've seen more in a pocket radio. Look at that. There's nothing in it. Wow. There's nothing in there. We've got the smoother, we'll test that. We've got some electrolytics here, we'll change those for the matter of course. We'll turn the soldering iron on, that's always a good idea. Yeah, there's not really a lot to do in this. I don't think the bulb works. What voltage is the bulb? Don't think the bulb works. The bulb doesn't light up, I'm sure of it. Well, I never noticed it. Let's have a look, see if I can ascertain what the voltage of the bulb is. If it doesn't say on the bulb, I can just measure it. But I'm hoping it's going to be at least a 6 or a 12 volt, because I've got 6 and 12 volt bulbs in stock. You know, you can never fucking tell with these, is there? Doesn't look like the filament's blown, but... Oh. Six volts. So it's a 6 volt bulb it's going to need. Oh, pardon me. I've just trumped. Right, so basically what we're going to do here, we're going to sort of like do a proper job on the volume control, because it is a bit crappy. We're going to take the volume control apart on this one, I'm afraid. Yeah, I think that's what's going to be done here. I'll take the amplifier, get my nut driver. Because I'm going to want the amplifier off anyway. I'll take my nut driver and take the amplifier off. It'll be easier to work on. And we'll see what the value is of this on off switch. See what I don't think I've got a replacement. I'm pretty sure I haven't. Pull that off spacer off there. The other one's okay, it's got the nut on it, that's alright. So now I can put that out of the way. Take the bulb fitting off. If the bulb fitting will come off. Hang on. Oh. Because I don't want to work on it with all this metal, you see. I'd rather... There we are. I'd rather shift all this fucking, as much of this metal as I can. And what we'll do, we'll just find cutters and just... You know, I hate it when you can't find something. I've got 2 pairs of fucking cutters in here and I can't fucking find them. I hate it when you can't find. Let's put that up there a minute. I hate it when you just can't fucking put your fingers on something. There's a pair of wire, there's a pair of pliers. Got another pair of cutters with the same colour handle as them. And man, I can use the cutter, I can use the pliers. Just snip those, because I'll just reconnect them. I just want this panel away from the amp. I'm not bothered about it. I'll leave them wires from the pickup going to it. I'm not bothered about that. See, that's... I can disconnect the speaker. The stripe goes to the top. Now, yeah, and it uses an overwind on the motor to drive this, but there again, you wouldn't expect. You wouldn't expect much more anyway, and given that this thing's nice and loud, see, I can work on it there now. Given that this thing's nice and loud, there's plenty of voltage there. It's just a matter of really just changing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 caps, and that should be it pretty much. Shouldn't be any more of an issue. But this volume control needs doing. It's a mess. It needs taking apart really and cleaning. So that's the first order of business, I think. And the tone controls are okay, and I might have to put a capacitor across the input to because it goes pop when you turn it on and off, and Lawrence doesn't like that, and it's probably done that ever since it was new, but he doesn't like that, so it's got to be done. I've got to sort that out. So I might be able to get at this just by doing this. Now I've got these special soldering tools that most of us have, and we just use them to see. Look, you can just hook under those, and it saves you a lot of fucking about. Now just straighten that carefully though. There we go. And we can take the volume control apart. Probably do it in situ actually. There we are. That is the volume. Yeah, it is volume on and off. Shut up! Well, basically what I've done, I've taken the switch apart and basically give it all a good clean, a good thorough clean, and it's now back together, or about to be, and should work like new. At least that's the aim. Push that down so that all has to line up. There we go. Usually helps to have everything where we need it, done it in the right shop, so to speak. And you've got to be careful with these tabs, you can't open these too many times. If you do, you fuck the switch up. Break one of these off, you folks, it's game over. So you have to be careful. And I've put that the wrong way in. Oh well, bloody hell. I have, yeah. Fuck's sake. Put the tab the wrong way around. Oh, hang on. No, you can do it that way. Can you? No, you can't. I thought you could. Fucking bastard. Oh well. If I break the fucking switch, I break the switch. Just means I have to order another one. But try not to. Try and do it gently, because as carefully as possible. Just this last one here, being a bit of a pain. Fancy putting the fucker on the wrong way around, dopey bastard. Because you can only get away with these tabs so many times. There we go. Now let's just lift this tab up. There we go. There we are. Now lift that back out, just turn it. There we go. And that's, there we go, that's everything as we need it. Now it's a case of flattening these fuckers again. Very gently does it. I mean, I think you can get away with it if you snap one, you can get away with it, but any more than that you're fucked. You snap one as long as it's the top one. One is at the top here, you can generally get away with it. I have done before today. But the bottom ones, when you break a bottom one off, it's definitely game over. But give that a good squeeze down. There we are. There we go. And that one. Oh, there we go. Yeah, no, we're not broken anything. We're just turn the switch. See if we I don't like the sound of that. It's catching somewhere. Don't like the sound of that, folks. Ooh, I do not like the sound of that. Let's take that out, see what we've done here, see what's gone wrong. Let's see what the issue is. Probably just got a bent wiper or something. Oh, that's. Let's pull that out, let's have a look. The carbon track's okay. So Let's have a look. Oh, that's what's happened. Yeah, that's what's happened. It's got caught. So that is bent. Bend that back up slightly. That's what's happened, is it's just got a bit bent. Straighten the that's supposed to bend up there slightly and then come down there. That's how it's supposed to be. And guess what? That's how it is. That's spot on that. They're both dead level. Fair enough. Right, let's try that now, but before I put it on the... let's turn that. Just want to make sure it turns. Yeah, it's better. I'll put this piece back in. The centre, that back in, and I got a feeling, you know, it's supposed to be fucking held in a lot tighter than that. It shouldn't pop out, I don't think. Right, well that's in. So that's that done. Let's just flick this switch here so it's off, so that we're not halfway up, or so we know where we are. That's the on-off switch off. What we'll do is spray a bit of cleaner in there actually. Right, pop the middle back in. Make sure that we're correct. Put the knob on. Well, I can use the pliers. So I just want to make sure that we're correctly seated. Yeah. let's put that is a nuisance. That shouldn't just fall out. It should be clipped in. Let me try something. The very top one is there. Give it a slight tweak. That's supposed to hold it in at the top. A fucking nuisance. Get in here, fucker. Right. That's got it. Now just push that down. There we go. Right. There we go, that's clipped in. Had a nice satisfying click that. It's not moving now, that was in properly now. Well, it obviously wasn't before. Right, well, that's nicely clipped in. So next one is to clip that in. Just make sure. Right, and this goes on that way. Now if it doesn't work this time I will have to order a control because I'm not going to get away with doing it again. I know I'm not. But get in. It's gonna fucking rain, folks. It's crappy looking out there, it has to be said. Do this one as well. Do this corner. There we go. Pull this one in, there we go. Now that one. Down. Make sure we're down all the way. If it does it this time, so it's just gone past with sirens on. It's always the way around here. In. That's in. There we go. We're all sealed good and tight there now. Let's see if this works now. I've dropped my knob. Come here, fucker. There we go. Right. That feels good now. So what we'll do, we'll put the knob back into where it belongs. and we can connect the wires back to it. I had to take a couple of wires off to be able to manipulate the knob. But that feels good now. But feeling good and it working good, that's two different things. I mean, it can feel good and not work properly. Right, so this this goes on to the end. Might not reach because I clipped it. Yeah, well, we'll see. Right, so that goes on to the end. There's the bit I clipped off, there we go. That'll clip onto there. Let's find the solder. Now we need our iron. We'll move that USB lead. So we'll end up with issues not related. Right, this solder's a bit crap, but it's all I've got. So when it's all you've got, it's all you can use, isn't it? Yeah. It's not as bad as some solder, this, but I've had better. This is only temporary, just to connect the control back up. I will do a proper job. It won't be going back to Lawrence like this. I'll be putting new wire, new caps and stuff in and doing a proper job anyway. I just want to connect everything back up as it was for now. Just so that I can see everything's right. Fire engine, or to give it its proper name, a fire appliance. There we go. Let's get this resistor back onto here first. It might be easier to solder that resistor back on first. Yeah, it might be easier to do that fucker first. Like I say, I won't be sending it back like this. I'll be putting all new capacitors in. It'll be getting done anyway, proper job done. This is just really so I can test. Just really so I can just check to make sure that everything's right after I've done this little job. Like Shango says, when you do a repair, if you're doing to make sure that you've done everything to make sure that yours is right, just in case you leave an issue, make sure that you test everything afterwards. Now, make sure that we look all clear. Well, I think that's as good as we're ever going to get the volume control. So, let's give the tone controls a squirt. I'm not pulling them out after all that hassle I've had with that. There we go. Just gonna lost my straw. Give them a quick whiz round. Right, and that popping sound, that's caused because there's no capacitor on the output, and there's never supposed to be one, but I'm going to put one on because it'll shut it up. Let's see what I can find in high voltage capacitors. Oh, what have we got? Let's have a look at me stock. Just pause you for a second, folks. Hey folks, I've done the volume control on Lawrence's record player. That's working as best as I can get it now. What I'm going to do next, got an itchy back there. Right, what I'm going to do now, I'm just waiting for the iron to heat up, which I think it has done. Let's find the solder. There, oh there it is, it's on the turntable. Right. Right, basically what I need to do now, just make sure I don't drop any solder into my coffee. Right. Right, well basically, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just check, yeah we're hot enough. Right, so I'll put that on there, innit? Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect, I've got this new capacitor here that I'm going to put in, and this is a good quality one. This is that's a Samsung. So I'm going to put this Samsung capacitor in. It's slightly higher, it's 1200 UF at 35 volts. The 35 volts part is right. So what I'm actually going to do, folks, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to put the capacitor, I'm going to take the old one out. Yeah. Am I? No. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the old one in, but I've disconnected the live terminal, and what I'll do, I'll put a bit of heat shrink across the across there, and what I'm actually going to do, because them wires fit into there, that's cool, that's great. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to desolder the wire if I can get it round to a position I can work on it. This is a model KP040. I was wondering where the model number was. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to suck the solder off here. There we go. And make sure my soldering iron shoe doesn't disappear. There we go. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect the new part. What I'll do, I'll put a bit of heat shrink. I'll trim this off and put a bit of heat shrink over that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect the new capacitor. Just trim the leads down on it. I'm going to connect the new capacitor just straight onto the rectifier there. Oh, piece of wire just flew into the unit. We'll get that out. So this is the negative side here, and this is the positive side. So basically, I was looking for a piece of tag board, but I don't actually need any. So basically, I can put that into there, like so. Get my pliers. I've just been watching a guy called My Mate Vince trying to repair a Mega Drive cartridge. You know, and really I mean, it's worth doing if you can get away with it, but I don't think he's going to be successful with that. I think he should take Gadget UK up on his offer and replace the mask ROM, which he'll probably do. But saying that, those Mega Drive carts have not done bad, you know, to survive all the time they have done, and a lot of them are still working. I mean, so they're a testament to what they are, really. I mean, when I was into it years ago, when I was into video games, I'm not really these days. If I play a game, I usually play it on my PC. I'm not really a console lover. Don't like consoles that much. But my favourite of all the consoles was the Sega Mega Drive. The cartridge based units was the Sega Mega Drive, and when they brought out the Sega Saturn, that was my favourite of everything, really. I mean, I thought the Sega Saturn was the dog's bollocks, really. You know, I thought it was a brilliant console. I mean, it was what it was, but you know, it was in my opinion, there's probably people going to put up a load of comments about this, but in my opinion, the old Sega Saturn was better than the PlayStation, as far as I'm concerned. It was more robust. It could do more than what the PlayStation could do. It could play karaoke discs straight out of the box. It could play video CDs if you had the optional card that you plugged in the back. The only problem with the Sega Saturn was the people who made it made a fuck up on marketing it. You know, but as far as I'm concerned, yeah, best one ever made, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, they're all starting to die now because they're all elderly now, they're all getting on, but yeah, definitely was, in my opinion, the best ever made. The Sega Saturn, I thought they were brilliant. I had one. I got a brand new one. Got it off my brother, if I remember rightly. And I thought for what it was excellent. But I've always been a bit of a Sega fanboy. I've always preferred Sega stuff as opposed to, you know, Nintendo. You know, like I like the advert, Sega does what Nintendo don't. Yeah, exactly. You know, they're I just thought, you know, there's a lot of people probably going to disagree, but it's all about opinion, really. But yeah, if we're on the subject of game consoles, I thought the Mega Drive, when it was out, was the best. But there again, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because I thought the Mega Drive was the best, but and I could say that with some confidence because I actually had a Nintendo. I actually had a Super Nintendo, and I got addicted to Super Mario 3. You see, Super Mario. So your Nintendo had Super Mario, but you know, the best machine was the Sega, but Nintendo had Mario, and the Mario games. I think the Mario games were better than the Sonic games. Although the hardware, I think, you know, the Sega hardware was better. But that's all down to a difference of opinion, like I say. You know, we're all entitled to our opinions. I mean, there are those who are going to say, "Oh no, 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 I don't care." It's all down to preference at the end of the day, folks, isn't it? It's down to what we want, what we prefer. But yeah, I definitely think, will this wire be long enough to reach? Just tin it up. I hope so. I need really the other light on in here. Oh, it is on. Okay, now. I think I might. Can I turn the recce round a little bit to just gain that extra little bit of space, so I don't have to put another fucking wire in. Oh, I can, look at that. I can turn the recce round to just gain the extra space I need. There we go, I'll tighten that fully up in a second. Look at that, it's giving me the extra space I need to just get this extra, to get this wire in without having to replace the wire. Because turning the rectifier, that's not going to do any harm. That's not going to hurt anything. Get a nice mechanical connection on it. I mean, this is a nice, get a nice hook. There we go. Just clamp that. There we go. Bring that round. Oh, lovely. And I can work out a way of taking this fucking dirty big capacitor out. I mean, I'm recapping it because I might as well. It saves it coming back in a few fucking months or a year or so down the line to be done again. It's already been done. Now that's the positive side of the capacitor done. What I want to do really, I want to get the negative leads. So let's see if I can suck this off, because I can then get rid of this capacitor. Where's my sucker? Come here. There we go. Now let's just try and suck the wires, just sort of loose really. There we go. I mean, that's a negative. Wire off. I want to try and do it. There we go. That's the black off. There we go. Now just take the capacitor off. Is that loose? I'm going to have to suck that as well. Take the capacitor off. There we go. Well, I say there we go. I think it's just, there we go. It just stuck itself back on. There we go. We're off. Now we will test that and see what it reads, but so we will test it. We'll put it there. We will be tested, but it's been done because I just think it needed to be done, and given I'm the engineer doing it, then there we go. Right, now get the sucker. The sucker. It's here. Right, now unsuck this solder back off here that I put on, because I didn't think I was going to use that route. I thought I was going to just drop solder onto my trousers. There we go, that's it. Yeah, now there we go. So what we'll do now, we'll lift this out. Without ruining the rectifier, and pull that through. Because the recce in this is good, there's plenty of volume on it, so there's no reason for it to be changed. There we go, that's a piece of wire. Now straighten this one. We need it straight for the moment so we can route it. Now we've got we'll just get that to go down into there. If not, it will go around the capacitor leg, which actually will probably be the best bet. There is plenty of room there. Let's get it round the leg. Come here, you bastard. See, really, he said there's no rush for this. He says it all the time, but I really want to get it off the bench. I don't want it here forever, so you know. So because I don't want it here forever, I want to get it done. I mean, he's nice, Lawrence. He doesn't rush you. He just brings you the job and he lets you get on with it, which is what it should be like. Top guy. But I hate it when somebody brings you a job and they expect to be done in 5 minutes. You know, they're no sooner out the door than mithering you. You done? That should pass through that hole. It doesn't. It doesn't. I have to go around the leg of it. Just wipe my eyes a minute. There we go. I have to go around the leg of the capacitor, which is no problem. I left room for it to do that should it have to. It's just this stuff that's on it that they put on it in the factory. It's a bit of a bastard to... There we go. That's that one through. Now where's the other leg? There's the other one. So let's get it soldered up and then get it tested. That's not quite how I had in mind, but get in. There we go, that's better. Make sure we're not touching it where we don't want to. Bring this over the top here. Bring that down to there. Yeah, that looks lovely. Just double compare. Yeah, the positive was the one that snipped. The red one, that's right. Now let's connect the speaker. double check everything. Yeah. I think we're okay there. Make sure that we're good and tight. We are. Make sure that nothing's touching or chafing. No, we're okay there. That's good. Turning that rectifier really helped. That really did. Make sure that was above. Yeah, that's okay. So we can. I need to sort that out because that's what's bothering him. That loud pop when you turn it on and off. I'll have to put some sort of tag board in there with a capacitor on it. But what I need to do is look at these other two caps here as well, because these have got to be done. And what have we got here? 220. Is it? 220 UF, 16 volts, and that one there's probably a 220 UF at 16 volts. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish me cup of tea. Yeah, I think I'll finish my cup of tea, and then what we'll do, we'll look at or my cup of coffee rather. And then we'll dig the part. What I'll do, I'll dig the parts out for the others. And this ring can be pulled off here. That don't need to be on there now, if I can get it off. But yeah, that's smoothing it lovely. That'll do the job lovely. So what I'll do, I'll pause it for now, and I'll come back when I've got the other bits out. That'll do the bits out of the parts out of stock. We're back. Of course we are. Where else would we be? Right, so basically we want to connect, and I think I'll put some heat shrink on there because we're going across other terminals. So I'm not going to do a young George here where I sheave everything. And good evening, George, if you're watching. And good evening to everyone else who watches my channel, by the way. Leave the heat shrink out, might be needed. Good evening to everybody else who watches it, and I hope you all get a laugh out of it and a bit of fun, because that's what it's all about. Electronics doesn't have to be serious all the time. Does have to be safe though. It doesn't have to be serious all the time. I mean, you know, I mean, I have a laugh, I fart my head off and everything. I don't give a fuck, as most people know. I even sit in my fucking undies sometimes and do it. I ain't arsed. Why should I be? Yeah, well, let's heat shrink that down. There we go. Hey! Because after I've done this, I've got the deck to do. The deck works, but it's still getting my treatment. It's still getting the Andy treatment, because I'd like to service it and know that it's right, and know that when Lawrence plays his records, it's going to be as good as it can possibly get. Right, so basically we want to connect, just make sure we get this right. Yeah, we snipped it there. So we want to connect our live. Now and the nice thing about this amp is you can actually put I can tighten that a bit more actually and get that, there we go, and that will just drop onto there. The nice thing about this amp, you can actually put the components on the top of the tag strip. There's enough room, and there's enough room for it to allow you to do that. I mean, and a lot of times you struggle, but with this amp it's not too bad. I just hope it's it would just help if I had a bit more support. There we go. And positive goes to there. What I could do actually, unplug the speaker. There we go. Why didn't I just think of that? Unplug the speaker, and then I can rest the amp on there. But this is actually not a bad amp. It's there we go. That's the positive connected. And I need to give young George a ring actually. I've not heard from him for a bit. Need to actually give him a quick ring and see how he is. Right, so get me sticker in her. Right, that's me. Are we in? So I've got another one here which is designed for the job. It's designed for pushing components down. There we go. And that's what that's for. There we go. It would help if you fucking stayed down though, wouldn't it? Stay down. There we go. Now put that back on there. We've got somewhere to balance it. See, I'm doing the caps, and that way it's not going to come back in a hurry. There we go. That's nice modern cap in there now. There we go. 35 volts, 47 microfarad. It should have been a 50 mic, but 47 is good enough. I mean, in all honesty, you could probably have gone a bit lower than that with that and got away with it, but I didn't have to. And these ones are 220. That one there's going to be a bit of a fucker to get out, I think. Oh no, no, it's not as awkward as I thought it was going to be. But we want that one out of there, and the negative is this to this side here. There we go, negative is there. And oh no, that's positive. That's the positive side. Fucking hell, Andy, it's a good job you fucking realised. Now bend this resistor up. I'll tell you what, I might have to fucking desolder that bastard. And this is where you need a good iron, because there we go, it should come out of there now, that. But there again, it's a bit of a I mean, you're heating up the whole fucking heat sink and everything. I mean, and I don't want to get any heat on the transistors. Right, let's see if we can get that. Let's cut that bit off. There we go. Might just drop through the hole now. But that goes to negative. I'm not going to get that off there. Now that is going to be a pain in the ass to chop off. It's got to come out, but I thought I could have just heated that up and it would have. Can I pull a capacitor up through there? Yeah, there we go. That's it. Slide it out. I hope it is a 220. I dug 220s out. That's what it looked like. The markings, it's what it looked like, so we'll see. It fucking don't look like it, let's see. Oh, it's upside down. $250 UF. It's 250 UF. I haven't got a 250. What have I got nearest a 250? Got a 220, but let's see if I can do nearest to it first. If not, then I'll leave them two out. What does this go up to, this box? Goes up to 330s. So, now well, they're 220s because I just pulled two off that. Let's see what these are. I've got one there that's going to fall on the floor. That's a 330. It's a bit too big. That's a 390. I've just dropped some on the fucking floor because I'm a dopey bastard. $330. I mean, let's put that other one in there. Fuck me, I've just dropped another fucker. It's going to cost me a fortune in capacitors because I'm dropping them all over the floor. Oh, there we go. Now let's have a look at what these green ones are. What are these? They're 220s. What's that fucker? That's a 220. Not putting that in, it's too fucking big. $220. Let's have a look at these green ones here. $220. What about these sort of chocolatey coloured ones? $220. Looks like I'm either going with the 220 Right. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, folks. $3.90 now. I'm going to go for the 220. I'm going to put the 220s in. Right, I'm going to put the 220s in. So that's what we're doing there, we're putting the 220s in. Let's get some heat shrink because we're going to have to go over the top again. And that might not fucking reach actually, might have to fucking... I mean, there are other points I can solder it to, it's not really a great issue. There's a ground point right next to the live. I mean, there's a ground point here, so it's not really a great issue. Yeah, your live's here and there's a ground point there, so that's not really a great issue. I mean, that can go to that, no problem. So, just because it came off a certain part, position, doesn't mean it has to go back in there. Right, so that's the... So what we'll do now, we'll so what we'll do next, now we'll solder the new capacitor in. Come here, solder, thank you. Yeah. I was watching Jay from Jay's Vintage Junk earlier doing his Land Rover. It's turned out well, that Jay. Coming on well, fella. Yeah, just think all the junk you'll be able to get in the back of that, eh? Lovely. Yeah. Right, and I can put that through there because it's a ground, so we're alright. I know that I still love you. And I'm singing and it's gonna rain. Why is it going to rain? Because I'm fucking singing. Yeah. I made my girlfriend happy the other day. I gave her a sewing machine. Yeah. Mind you, I've got a couple of pairs of pants I want her to adjust, so. But that wasn't the reason why I gave her that machine. I gave her that machine because it was given to me and I don't use sewing machines. So. And I knew she'd love it because her current machine is not working. I need to have a look at it for her, see what I can do. Right, so we're on there now. With that one's done. Move that. I was going to say there's a broken wire here. It's not. It's the pickup wire. It goes to that socket there. Woo! Right. Now, I'll tell you what. Do you know something, folks? This has got to be one of the easiest amps I've ever done. This is a lovely amp to work on, I mean. Positive that side, negative this side. There we go. and that's a 250 puff as well. But I'm going to be testing all these anyway, see how much they've lost over the years, and see if they, you know. So we'll do our usual test to see if they've lost any value over the years. Probably, but they've all been replaced now, and Lawrence won't have to worry. Bastard. I'm getting a bit peckish as well, I think. Yeah, it'll probably be a two-parter this video, because I'll do a part on servicing the deck. And what the fuck's that there? There we go. Right. Right, positive. Right, negative goes to that side. Yeah. Yeah. Negative goes to that side, positive that side, yeah. I'm correct on this. Right. Now pop that. Oops, let's lift that up. There we go. Pop that there. There we go, just that one, and slide that onto there, and I've done that the wrong way round. Oh no, I haven't. No, I haven't. Negative that side, positive this side. Yes, it's right. I was a bit worried there, folks. Thought I got it wrong. I haven't. Just connect that one to that resistor. That's all we need. This has been a good amp to recap, it's not bad. There we go. Slide that down a bit so we don't overheat the resistor too much. It is going to get slightly warm when I melt this solder onto it, but why put things under undue stress? There we go. That'll do it. Right. Gotcha. Right. Well, that's all your caps done, Lawrence. All your electrolytics are done. So what we'll do next, we'll plug the amp in and we'll see if we've got made any improvement. I don't think there won't be much improvement because it's working okay, but The red went to the top. There won't be much improvement on this. It's not a high-end amper out, so there's not going to be much gained. So let's see. Make sure we're off. We are. Turn the plug off a minute. Should be more than that. Right. They probably will be. Let's just. Oh, there we are. You don't like that popping sound because, well, it just doesn't. So I'll have to look into putting a capacitor or something in there. But we're all complete. We're recapped. That power leads back where it usually lives. There we go. So we're not pressing down on that capacitor. There we go. Now let's just connect the front bezel back up. So we can give it a signal. Right, so basically this had quite a lot of output on it. It was dead strong, the output. In fact, what I'm actually going to do, I'm actually going to put the amplifier, because we're really finished with it now, apart from that capacitor, we're pretty much finished with the amplifier. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the amplifier back. Because we're finished with that now, so I can put the amplifier back in situ now, because we're done with that. There was a screw, there was 2 screws in there. Where's the other fucker gone? Probably fell out onto the fucking bench. But there was 2 screws that hold either side down, and there's only 1 in there. There should be 2. So I don't understand that. There was a nut in there. No, there's the nut. And the spacer, it's probably fell out onto a bench up here somewhere. Be under that lot, find it in a minute. Anyway, basically, put the spacer back on. Put it that way up, the same as that one. I mean, really engineered them, didn't they? Oops. Oops. Right, put that back on there. Have I tightened that up? I fucking haven't. So let's tighten the that's it. Right, so that's your output. That's your bulb. That back in that way up. Move the stuff out the way. Oops. Put the There were no washers. Whether there was any with it when it was new, I don't know, but certainly none with it now. There wasn't any when I undone it, so this has all been done now. This is apart from that loud popping sound, and I'm going to service the deck. This is all ready to go. Really, it's not really much. There we go. Now let's lift that back up. Yeah, they're in the middle pretty much. Need to be shifted over slightly, I think. Now what we'll do, we'll shift the lamp over there a minute. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just tack these together in case it has to come back out. So that I'm not going to waste the heat shrink on them yet, but I will heat shrink them before it goes back. But just for testing, I'm going to just tack them. Just really for the purpose of just testing the amp and stuff. So I want to make sure it's right before I move on to the next job. That capacitor problem, that popping I'll come back to. That's probably a bad on off switch, dirty contacts inside the switch. Probably not really a lot I'm going to be able to do about that, but I'll have to look at the manual. And see if it came with across the line with across the line capacitor on it. If it did, then I'll put one in. But I just can't see it being sent out like that. Right, so that doesn't go that way, obviously. That goes that way, so that the light can shine. Does it? Let's go the other way. Oh, hang on. There we go. Bloody hell. Make these fucking stiff, don't they? Fucking... There we go. That's it. There we go. I'll pop the amplifier back into its... There we go, where it lives. And... them knobs are all in the wrong position. It's a lot better that. Them knobs are all in the wrong position. What's happened is these have come off at some point. I'm not going to mither. What's happened is these have come off at some point and somebody's glued them in the wrong position. I'm not going to mither with those. Not my problem. Right. So what we'll do, we'll play a record and we'll see how it sounds. Right, we can do an assessment of the deck now as well. I mean, I'm happy with the amp. I'm happy with the amp. I mean, and even the light comes on now. It didn't before. Right, that's 33 1/3, or if you're in Ireland, it's dirty 3 1/3. Right. Well, that deck works, seems to work good. I will go over it though. That sounds very distorted. That sounds very distorted. Better. The actuator wasn't in the actual middle of the rubber on the cartridge. That bass control isn't working properly. That bass control, I'm not happy with that bass control. But let's just give it a... There we go. Give it a squirter switch cleaner. If that doesn't work, I have to take the bass control apart and do that. There we go, let's try that. Yeah, that's got it. Give that treble control a quick squirt, because that's a bit crackly at the end. There we go. But the amp in this is actually not a bad amp. I mean, that feels a bit notchy actually. Feels worse than what the other ones do. I mean, the volume one, the on-off of volume one feels the best because I had that apart and stripped it. But let's see how we get with this now. I'm not happy with that bass, with that treble, because I put the record back on. That's maximum treble. Give that volume control another squirt, although it's been stripped. Just give that a quick squirt. There we go. Can't hurt, can it? That's doing that because it's conductive. There we go. Well, so let's turn this on and off a couple of times, really. Power off. I think that sorted that bumping problem out as well. I'm hoping when the stuff evaporates that'll go, because it weren't that crackly until I sprayed that stuff into it. Well, there's no mains hum there, and the bulb's gone off. The bulb's probably fucking blown. So the bulb's probably blown, but that's no issue. Another. That's not too bad, that. Right. Let's give the deck a once over. I mean, the deck will be stripped. Well, not stripped, but it'll be serviced. Doesn't need stripping, it works quite well, this deck. I'm happy with it. So it's dropping exactly where it should. Yeah. That bang, that thumping's not as bad now. That's not as bad as now I can do about that. It's not supposed to have a capacitor in there, but I will check the manual, and the motor continuously runs in this, so that provides, that's no, because that's why I just tested the switch, see if it popped, see if there's a switch on the bottom of the deck, and in this one there isn't. You can actually hear the motor going, but that's not too bad now. It's better than what it was. So basically what I'm going to do now, I'm going to call it quits for now because it's getting a bit late, and I'm going to call this, basically this is part one. and I will go over the deck and service that. So let's turn the iron off, and I'll go over the deck tomorrow. And thank you very much for watching, folks, and more, oh pardon me, more to come later. Now I'm going to go and get a brew. Got a bite to eat. Right, okay, let's do some capacitor testing. Now, what have we got? What's this one? This is the smoother, and it's 1,000 microfarads. So let's see. I mean, there was no initial hum, so I'm expecting not to be too bad, but we'll see. $1,339 and 0.4 ESR. So that could have stayed in, but I've replaced it. We've got the new one in now, so that's good enough. That'll do. And it is a brand new one, so it'll last. And it's at the rated voltage. Now the next one. Oh, where's that fucker gone? There it is. I want to get a shower in a minute because I'm going out soon. Let's pull the dog hairs off it. There we go. Oh, hang on. There we go. Ooh, you gotta get that out, better out than in, I always say. .43, 0.2 microfarads, so that's up in value. ESR's only 0.23 though, ohms, so we're not too bad there. But yeah, they were up in value. So needed to be done in my opinion. See, this doesn't test for leakage, this test, that's the only problem with it. And that one's 415.9 UF, 0.21 ESR, so they needed to be replaced. So they've been done now. And that one was 54.04 at 0.50 ohm. So that wasn't too far out. That could have stayed in, but you know, if you're doing that and that, you may as well fucking do that as well. It's only 4 electrolytics. They might as well have been done. So you know, I'll save them and show Lawrence what I've changed, as I always do. Not that he bothers, but I always do anyway. I like to. Not changed any resistors. It's the volume control's okay now. Remember, I sprayed that stuff in, that cleaner, and it went very noisy at this end. But if I show you now, just put this testers up there for a second. If I show you now, it's actually gone okay. Put the record on. See, that's not as bad. I'd say that's pretty spot on, that now. What I need to do with that now is just put my capacitors away before they end up everywhere. Basically, what I really need to do with that now is just go through the record deck. I'll be going through that later, because I'm going to climb in the shower in a minute. And the bulb actually isn't blown. The bulb isn't blown, it's just a bad connection. So it probably just needs cleaning, because the bulb does come on every now and again, so it's not blown. Anyway folks, I'm going to leave it there. Just thought I'd give you a quick update on the progress of Lawrence's ITT record player. I'll catch you later. Bye for now. Hi folks, we're back on with Lawrence's record player. I'll just go through the amp with you. I've got the deck to just give a quick service to, which I'll do in a minute. I'll just go over the amplifier quickly with you. What we've done, we've replaced the smoother. I've put a 2200 microfarad in it, 35 volts. It's a little bit higher than what was in there. Well, it's actually quite a bit higher than what was in there, but it'll do the job. It provides enough smoothing, and record player's got enough volume, so that's okay. Everything's running lovely. But what I've done, I've mounted it straight onto the rectifier. Saves drilling holes in the chassis and having to put fucking tag boards and shit in. It's enough room there for me to do that, so that's what I've done. All the switches have been clean. The volume control pot was really bad. It had to be disassembled and reassembled. I think I'll show you that in one of the videos, we'll see. This capacitor here was a 250. I replaced it with a 220. I think these are rated at 35 volts. I think the originals were. I think the original 25, if I can remember rightly. This one here was a 47 microfarad. That was replaced. I think that was about 16 volts. And this one here was 250. I replaced that with a 220 microfarad as well. So basically that's the amplifier, and I just want to look at the lamp, because the lamp doesn't always stay on. There we go. It's as tight as I can get it. So what we'll do, we'll drop this back into the cabinet. Won't put the screws in yet because I've got to take the deck out and give that a once over. Now let's plug and I've got to do the input wires properly as well. Plug that in. I'll do it manually. And that's it. Right, let's see the mechanism in operation. There we go. Lovely. Oh, I didn't show you, did I? I didn't have it zoomed out. There we go. Right. Do again. Go again. There we go. I'm going to service the deck off camera because I only need to just really clean the idler. Because this is all working absolutely beautifully. Just get a squirt of oil here and there. You've seen me do that before, so I just mainly wanted to show me doing the amp. Plenty in that lot. Plenty in it. Really good. Right, so anyway folks, I'm going to end it here, and thank you very much for watching, and more to come later. Bye for now.